Welcome to VGK Today, presented by BetMGM, where we give you an inside look at the Vegas Golden Knights 2024 Stanley Cup playoff run. I'm Justin Russo with the Golden Knights on Friday, May 3rd, as tonight the VGK fight to keep their season alive at T-Mobile Arena, battling the Dallas Stars in Game 6 of their first-round series. Vegas comes home seeking their first home win of the series, and they're hoping the fans at the Fortress can help them force a 7th game against the Stars. Game 6 marks the first time in 3 years the Golden Knights have played in an elimination game, with no elimination games during last year's Cup run and the team missing the playoffs in 2022. June 24th, 2021 is the last time the VGK faced elimination in the postseason, when they lost in overtime to the Montreal Canadiens in the playoff semifinal. Determined to keep their quest to repeat alive, the Golden Knights will work to create a different outcome this time, and they will aim for one more flight back to Dallas for a decisive Game 7. We're all hopeful the VGK can do just that, and of course confident that they can put it all together to fight back in this series, but that doesn't mean there aren't some nerves heading into tonight's elimination game. With some tension in the air today, we provide some relief, as after the break, Gary Lawless chats with famed actor, comedian, comedy club owner, and Golden Knights fan, Brad Garrett.
Vegas! On behalf of Knock the Injury Law, Golden Pipes, Carnell Johnson.
If you've been hurt, Knock the is the word. Call 702-INJURED.
For Han Nakvi with Nakvi Injury Law, imagine you've been injured in an accident. Now, do you want an assembly line law firm that treats you like a number and settles early for easy money? Hell no. Call me now for a free consultation at 702-INJURED.
Listen up! Your share at winning over $500,000 in free fuel and products is just a tap away with the Terrible Social House app.
Yes!
With a qualifying purchase at the pump or in-store, you can shop, spin, and win directly on your phone. Win free products that you can redeem instantly in-store, or if you're feeling lucky, you could land on free fuel towards your next fill-up. Shop, spin, and win. Download and play today. Terribles. Deliberately different since 1959. Go to terribles.com for more details.
Back on VGK Today, and this is a thrill for me. Brad Garrett,
God.
super fan.
You got to get out more, Gary. You got to get out more.
Brad Garrett, star of Screen and Stage, and Golden Knights fan, member of the VGK Alumni Board, just a great citizen of Las Vegas, and a guy I'm lucky enough to call a friend is joining us. Thanks, Brad.
What's up, Gary? How you doing, my brother?
How do you feel about the series?
I'm ready to win 2 in a row. You know, anyone that knows me knows that I'm very new to hockey. I'm still learning the game. I fell in love with the sport late in life when the Golden Knights came to Vegas, and I'm hooked, man. I'm hooked, you know, and it's just exciting. I mean, look, we need to take care of Friday, and then we're going to go to Dallas, and we're going to embarrass the Cowboys. Can I say that?
Sure. Yeah, you said it.
Okay.
So I didn't really hear what you said.
Gary, are you still with me? Honey, it's Nana. Come kiss me on my mole. Come here, Gary.
Oh,
all right.
My goodness.
Aren't you happy you did this? You could have gotten Ray.
No chance. Listen, I like Ray, but you are my man.
Yeah.
You know that. I loved that show you did on Netflix. I'm dying up here.
Thank you, brother.
Loved that show. And
Thank
tons
you,
of stuff
man.
you've done.
You may be the only one who have seen it.
Didn't you love doing it?
I had a blast. I mean, that was a great cast, and you know, Jim Carrey was the executive producer, and he created that character a little. It was supposed to subtly mirror his relationship with Dangerfield, who I got to know later in life, and you know, all comics are huge fans of Rodney, but it was a lot of fun. You know, it was about when stand-up comedy in the 70s was really taken off at the Comedy Store. So it was a blast to do that role. More and more I'm getting to do dramatic roles because the industry has realized I'm not that funny. So
I'm told if you can be funny, you can do anything. I'm told that the true acting geniuses. Look at De Niro. Look how funny he can be.
That's a joke, right?
He's funny? No?
No. He's very funny. Gary, you said this would go easy.
You're giving me a hard time.
Gary? Gary, what are you wearing? I know you're from Canada. I know you're wearing the culottes, and you got the. What are you wearing, Gary? When are you going back to the lake and taking me with you?
You have something for Canadians, right? Because Canadians, the best things that come from Canada, comedians and hockey players.
There's no question, and there's some of the best comedy audiences are Canadians. I've died a million times.
Rumors in Winnipeg.
Oh boy, Rumors in Winnipeg. Oh my gosh! And I was there when it was called Gallagher's. That's how far when it was a hamburger stand. And then I played the Comedy Oasis in Winnipeg, and had some of my best times up there, man.
Rumors was my last house in Winnipeg was like a 4-iron from Rumors. It was right around the corner there. Sheldon Mindel was the owner of it.
Yes. Sheldon Mindel. Not to be confused with Sheldon Lipschitz. Hey, let me ask you something, Gary.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because I know you call it, man. You're the maestro. How you feeling about the next two? What's going to happen?
The Golden Knights haven't played their best game. That's the one thing that is in that. It's at the back of my head. Like the last two games have been really close, and I think Dallas is firing as close as they can to being on all cylinders, and Vegas is nowhere near that. So if they can uncork their best game in Game 6, they'll win Game 6. That's really all you got to worry about. You got to get that done first. And I wrote last night. I borrowed from George Strait, Amarillo by morning. I wrote Dallas by Sunday. That's all they got to think about. Get to Dallas on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Well, I think this conversation is over, Gary.
No, we're not done yet. No. Listen, you mentioned Rodney Dangerfield.
Please don't say Amarillo around Jewish people. It gets us very nervous.
I don't know. I don't know the reference that you're referring to.
I understand. That's a way to play it. No matter what I say, Gary, just act like no comprende.
We were sitting at. Are you smoking?
Gary, Gary, you're in my will. I'm sorry. Go ahead, darling.
We were sitting at the bar the other night, Gosher, Nighty, Duva, and myself. And Gosher, he's kind of funny. He starts telling us about a Rodney Dangerfield story where Rodney Dangerfield says, my wife and I agreed that the only time we'll smoke is after relations. And he said, I haven't had a smoke in 6 months, and she's up to 3 packs a day.
He was one of the best joke writers. I went up to a bartender, He said, hey, pal, what are you having? I said, I don't know. Give me something I've never had before. He showed me a naked picture of my wife.
Did you know Sam Kinison?
Wow, you really just went right over that. I can't say naked? Okay. Excuse me. I did not know Sam. Huge fan, though. Huge fan, but I didn't know him.
Because you broke through the stand-up scene. You broke through in the 80s, right? Early 80s?
That's when I broke through, started in the late 70s, correct.
Yep. Okay. I thought you might have crossed paths.
Boy, what a force he was. He was something else. He was a talent. But Rodney was something else, man. He was just so funny. I was in Vegas once at what used to be Bally's, and he was playing craps in his robe, out there in the main casino, and it wasn't closed. And they were like, Rodney, you either got to close your robe or go back to your room. And it was kind of funny. But he would go down there and just work the casino, man. There was no one funnier, line for line. But him and Sam were close, man. They were tight.
Yeah, Sam is in Back to School. He has a role in that. My favorite line from that is, can we go out for dinner? I have class. Call me when you have no class. That is, you're right. He could write great jokes.
The best, man. Yeah, it was the best.
Who's good now?
He is. Who's good now?
Yeah, if you had to reach in your pocket, take out some of your own shekels and pay to see a comic, who would you go to?
Boy, I do that all the time. Bill Burr, I think is really amazing. Sebastian Maniscalco, I think, is great. Nate Bargatze is just, really an incredible stand-up, brilliant writer. Of course, I go back. I mean, I'm a Chris Rock fan. I really like Chappelle. But I would say pound for pound, Burr is right up there for me. For me. And, we have a lot of up-and-comers at the club that are starting to, break. We have Nate Craig, who now opens for Bill Burr. We have Ken Garr, Paul Agata. These guys have just been signed to the Cirque du Soleil show. Matt Apple, they found him at our club. So, there's a lot of guys and gals on the horizon that are just Eleanor Kerrigan is a super funny woman. So who do you like?
I like you.
Who would you go see?
I like you. No, I like Bill Burr. I want to come to your club. And
I wish you would, man. You are welcome anytime.
I want to come when you're.
It's a little tangy. It's a little tangy, Gary.
I want to come when you're on stage, and I want you to give me the business.
Well, I never give the business to people that are my guests because then they think it's set up. I'll put you in my booth in the back where you're safe, and we'll put your partner in the front.
Dan Duva?
Yeah, Dan will put him in front. I'll have 2 hours on Dan. You're welcome anytime, man. Anybody on your team are always welcome, and the Knights pop by a lot. And Bruce comes by, and we have a great time. Why do
you have the club? Why do you do it?
I got very lucky. I got very lucky in my career. I worked hard, but I got lucky too. I mean, I got on a show back in the days when a show could change your life before there were 400 shows and 1,000 channels. I've always loved the business end of a club, and you work so many dumps as a comic when you're coming up, and so many places that just don't take care of guys, that I always said to myself, if I ever make it, I want a club in the entertainment capital of the world where we treat comics great, where they can have fun, where they can do one show a night instead of 3, like on the road, and have a little vacation, be put in a suite that they deserve, and, just be working on the Strip in Vegas. I started in Vegas in 86, and it's always been an incredible town for comedians. So I always just wanted to kind of reinvent what would have been the great lounges. We now have a lounge where we do music on the weekends. It's part of the club. And I just kind of wanted it to feel like old Vegas in a way. And I think the showroom kind of has that throwback, speakeasy type of vibe that, of when this town was really, really special.
When we land late at night, like last night we landed around midnight, and we land just off the Strip, I get in my car and I head towards home. And I have to drive past a portion of the Strip, and I'm always listen. I got to go home because I got to get up the next day and go to work. But there's always this energy. There's this magnet, and I almost always want to, just go into the night and see what happens. And shame on me, I've never done it. But isn't there something special about this?
You've never done it.
No, never after a road trip when I get in my car and I'm like,
well, you're exhausted. I mean, it's exhausting.
No, I'm not. By the time I walk from the plane to my car, and I roll the windows down and I drive up and turn on the Trop, and just as I'm heading by Las Vegas Boulevard, I always think, hey, turn right and just go see what happens. I'm going to do it some night. But isn't there something special about this town? An energy?
There is, man. It's an energy that's like no place else. And I remember back in the days when they used to say this town will never be able to support a sports team. And when the Knights came into it, man, they did it like no one else. And, this is becoming a sports capital. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. NBA's coming, as you know, and we have the WNBA that's something I really am starting to enjoy, and this town is supporting it, And what's so great is, every time you go to a game, you have, a third of the arena are the visitors. So everything feels like a playoff game, and there's no venue like T-Mobile for hockey. I mean, I've only been, again, to a handful of stadiums across the country, so I'm probably, not the one to say, but you will admit there is a unique energy in there.
Are you coming on Friday?
I will be there, sir. I will be there.
You're serious about
what
this,
I love to do.
You love
I don't have a seat, Gary. What I do is during the game, I just walk around the arena and I sit in front of the shortest person I can find, and I just yell expletives. It's fabulous. I'd love to have you join me one day and come to the club. Please.
You come up and join Dan and I in the booth one night. You come up and watch the game with Dan and I some night.
I'm worried about Dan. He's got a history. I will be there. Dan's great. I would love to share that place with you. But, you guys make me nervous because, you're experts. And I'm like, why is that guy going into a box? I'm an idiot with this game. I'm just in love with it. But I will see you, and you are welcome anytime to the
Thanks
club.
So much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. And the whole organization supports.
Thanks for always being so nice to me.
We love having you around. You're a great fan
too,
and a great Las Vegan. So thanks a lot, Brad. Have a good one, pal.
Too. All right, man. I hope to see you soon. Thanks, care.
Okay.
Take care, man.
That's Brad
Bye-bye.
Garrett for VGK Today.
Oh, well, a great conversation there between Gary and Brad. Big thanks to Gary for bringing us that conversation, and of course, a huge thank you to Brad for giving us his time here on VGK Today. And we'll hope with him in the building for Game 6 tonight, the Golden Knights can extend the series and do just as he says, go back to Dallas for Game 7 and win this first-round series. Stay tuned because after the break, we're going to take a look around the NHL postseason and see where things are settling in as the first round comes to a close.
Jack Daniels has always made whiskey, and if they have it their way, they always will. But there's one thing Jack can't make more of: moments. Those are on us to create. You see, hockey fans, we only get one shot at this thing called life. So let's make sure we're making the most of every moment, whether it's showing up for our team or sipping a glass of Jack while cheering at the radio. Don't let a single moment go to waste. Make it count. Jack Daniels.
Tennessee Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks. Copyright 2022 Jack Daniels. All rights reserved.
Hello, I am Kerry Buboltz, President and CEO for your Vegas Golden Knights. I am a proud board member of the Nevada Donor Network Foundation. With over 600 Nevadans waiting for a life-saving organ transplant, we can all do our part to bring hope to those waiting. I am partnering with Nevada Donor Network to raise awareness about registering to be a hero. I am a registered organ, eye, and tissue donor and proud Nevadan. Are you? Join us at wearenevadans.org.
So taking a look around the rest of the NHL postseason, there was only one game to report on from Thursday night, and that one came from Toronto, as the Maple Leafs have forced a Game 7 in their first-round series with the Boston Bruins. Despite not having Austin Matthews for Game 5 or Game 6, the Maple Leafs won both to come back from a 3-1 series deficit and tie things at 3 to set up a Game 7 in Boston on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Maple Leafs in this one got a couple of goals from William Nylander. Morgan Geekie got one late for the Bruins with 1 second to go in the game, but the Maple Leafs doing all they could on home ice to stay alive in this series and force a Game 7 back in Boston. And if you'll remember, last year for the Bruins, had a 3-1 lead against the Florida Panthers, lost Game 5 in Boston, much like they did earlier in this series, losing on a Matthew Knies overtime winner for the Maple Leafs. And eventually, it was the Florida Panthers last year who were able to come back and win Game 7 in overtime in Boston. So certainly some similarities between this year and last for the Bruins, but they're going to hope for a different result as they get home ice for Game 7 on Saturday. So the Golden Knights, in a similar situation to the Toronto Maple Leafs, on home ice, looking to extend the series to a 7th game. Of course, the Golden Knights in action tonight. Also, the Vancouver Canucks will be in action, taking on the Nashville Predators. Predators in the exact same situation as well. On home ice, looking to extend the series, and looking to get one more game back in British Columbia against the Canucks, who will look to close things out on the road in Nashville. And if you'll remember, the last time these two teams met in Nashville, it was a wild comeback for the Vancouver Canucks to win in overtime on an Elias Lindholm goal. So we'll see if the Canucks can channel some of that energy and get another road victory, or if the Predators can force another Game 7 in this first round. That game, of course, coming our way at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Golden Knights and Stars drop the puck at 7 o'clock Pacific time from T-Mobile Arena. And it's up to the Golden Knights to win one more game on home ice to force a Game 7 in Dallas, where you never know what could happen. We'll see if the Golden Knights can do just that, and we'll see if they're successful in their efforts to extend the series. A reminder before this home game for the VGK that when the Golden Knights score in the first period, make sure you have the McDonald's app downloaded to redeem your free French fries of any size at your local McDonald's the next day. Get some early goals from the VGK, get some McDonald's fries. We'll see if the Golden Knights have some early goals in them for a massive Game 6 tonight. Thanks as always for tuning in to VGK Today. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your preferred podcast platform, as we'll be back every day throughout the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs with new episodes. Stay tuned for tomorrow as Dan Duva joins the show to wrap up Game 6. Justin Russo signing off for VGK Today, presented by BetMGM.